There has been many defensive maestros throughout the history of boxing. 2 of them I've already done biographies on, which are Willie Pep and James Toney respectively, but none have truly captured the imagination of the modern boxing world like the man nicknamed Sweet Pea. Pernell Whitaker is a fighter who, in his prime, the words untouchable, sublime and brilliant could be considered vast understatements to a boxer who is the definition of greatness. From lightweight to light middleweight, he dazzled all who were lucky enough to witness his almost infallible display of boxing ability, before his addiction and age caught up with him at the end of his glorious career. Let's take a look back on the incredible career and remember the man who inspired a generation. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Let's get into it. Whitaker's amateur career was glittering to say the least. The most likely estimate is that he had 214 or 215 amateur fights, but some claims have put this number closer to 500. 201 wins with either 13 or 14 losses, with 91 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He would take home a silver medal at the 1982 Amateur World Championships, losing to then 2-time Olympic gold medalist Angel Herrera Vera. However, Whitaker would avenge his loss a reported 4 times, including in the final of the 1983 Pan American Games. Whitaker will also crown his amateur career with a gold medal in the 1984 Olympics before making his way to the professional ranks in November 1984. His first 3 bouts as a professional would all end in the same result, wins by TKO, before his knockout streak would end in his 4th bout with a unanimous decision over Nick Parker. Another 3 consecutive knockout victories led Whitaker to face former Hector Camacho foe, John Montes. Montes put up a good fight, but Sweet Pea was too good, landing consistently with great left hands and beautiful jabs squarely on Montes' nose. From there, Whitaker defeated Rafael Williams, Rafael Gandarilla, and Alfredo Lane, all by unanimous decision, before coming up against Roger Mayweather. Like in the Montes fight, Mayweather did very good. His right hands had Whitaker thinking twice, constantly. But Whitaker's constant bodywork, especially with the straight left to Mayweather's abdomen, before taking a quick step out and then shooting out a flurry of punches, highlighted Sweet Pea's ability to fight at any distance successfully. Whitaker's overhand left was also landing with great effect too. When the fight ended, Whitaker's hand was raised and his charge towards the world title shot continued. TKO wins over Jimmy Flores, Miguel Santana, and Davey Montana put Whitaker in line for Jose Luis Ramirez's WBC lightweight world title. Ramirez at the time had a record of 106 fights, 100 wins, and 6 losses. He had been a professional for 15 years already, and his 6 losses were against some of the greatest fighters who have ever stepped in the ring. Other than his first loss in 1975, his only other losses came against Ruben Olivares, a split decision defeat to Alexis Arguello, Ray Mancini, Edwin Rosario, and Hector Camacho. The fight with Whitaker, however, would cause great controversy. Pernell Whitaker would throw some beautiful combos and punches, with many observers believing Whitaker deserved the victory. Some fans, however, disagreed with this notion, pointing to the fact Whitaker was holding and running for most of the fight. But whatever your opinions are, when the scorecard was announced, Ramirez earned a split decision victory, gifting Whitaker his first pro loss. Pernell Whitaker was now on the road for redemption. A TKO win over outmatched Antonio Carter once again put Whitaker in the driver's seat for a title shot. This time was for the IBF lightweight title against Greg Horgan. Horgan was not a bad fighter in his own right, but nothing would have stopped Whitaker that night. He put on a genuine masterclass over Horgan, turning him inside out and making a world champion look completely average. Whitaker was in a different league. He hit Horgan with punches he never saw coming. Didn't matter if it was to the body or the head, Whitaker landed with conviction. When the final bell rung, Whitaker was the new IBF champion of the world. A TKO win over then undefeated Louis Lamalley in his first title defense got him the chance to add the vacant WBC title to his ever-growing list of achievements. The man he would have to face was the only man to have ever beaten him as a professional, Jose Luis Ramirez. Like the legend he is, Whitaker would be defensively sound while also landing some stunning combos of his own. He proved to be too sharp for the veteran fighter, culminating in a lopsided unanimous decision for Sweet Pea. He was now the unified WBC and IBF world champion, with his sights set on becoming the undisputed champion in the near future. He would get his chance at the undisputed title a year on from this victory, and after beating boxing legend 31-1 Azuma Nelson. The fight to become the undisputed lightweight champion was against Juan Nazario, but the fight wouldn't last long. A blink and you will miss it knockout with around 12 seconds left to go in the first round. Whitaker throws a sensational left hand onto Nazario's jaw. A delayed response and Nazario crashes to the canvas. Whitaker defeats Nazario and is now the first undisputed lightweight champion since Roberto Duran, and the last undisputed lightweight champion to this day. I'm recording this on the 7th of November 2020, by the way, so there may be a new undisputed lightweight champion in the future, but so far Teofimo Lopez has beaten Lomachenko, but he is not technically undisputed because he has the WBC franchise belt and Devin Haney owns the quote-unquote real WBC belt. But I'm off topic, let's go back to Pernell Whitaker. Whitaker will retain his undisputed status as champion 3 times against Anthony Jones, Paulie Diaz, and Jorge Paez before eventually moving to super lightweight or junior welter. A unanimous decision win over then 28-1 Rafael Pineda made Whitaker a 2-weight world champion, earning the IBF strap. But he would never defend this title. He would make an immediate move up to welterweight with a first round KO victory over Ben Buck Chavez, giving Whitaker the opportunity to fight Buddy McGirt for his WBC welterweight world title. Whitaker was attempting to join a very exclusive club of fighters who had won world championships in 3 different weight divisions. In a close and competitive bout with the extremely talented Buddy McGirt, Sweet Pea would edge out a decision over the champion. However, his next fight would be that of infamy and controversy against the great Julio Cesar Chavez. Chavez was already a ring legend at this time with an absurd 87-0 record and looked invincible. Chavez had wins over Greg Horgan, Hector Camacho, Meldrick Taylor, Roger Mayweather, Juan Laporte and Rocky Lockridge, to name a few. But Whitaker was not scared of the living legend. In fact, Whitaker put on an absolutely dazzling performance in one of the most blatant robberies in boxing history, in my personal opinion of course. The judges inexplicably scored it a draw. A fight where Whitaker without doubt deserved the decision. A draw was inexcusable. Chavez is an amazing fighter, a Mexican legend and an all-time great, but Whitaker deserved to win this fight without question. But life goes on, and so did Whitaker's dominance over the boxing world. Unanimous decision victories over Santos Cardona and Buddy McGirt in their rematch convinced Whitaker he could do one better. He wanted to be a 4-weight world champion. He would have to defeat then 53-1 WBA light middleweight champion Julio Cesar Vasquez. Superb jabs, head movement and fighting off the center line kept the bigger Argentinian champion at bay, and once again Sweet Pea came out on top and was the new WBA light middleweight champion of the world. A 4-weight world champion and an absolute superstar. Post Vasquez, Whitaker returned to welterweight where he would make a further 5 title defenses against Gary Jacobs, Jake Rodriguez, 2 times against Wilfredo Rivera and his superb comeback knockout victory over Hurtado. But Sweet Pea was past his prime and it was not helped by his addiction to cocaine. He would lose his title to Oscar De La Hoya by decision. He would then beat Pastraev until the decision was overturned to a no contest after Whitaker tested positive to cocaine, then a loss to then prime Trinidad by decision, which would finally lead him to his last fight against Carlos Borjaquez, where Whitaker would break his clavicle during the fight, prompting the referee to stop the bout. This would be the only time Whitaker ever lost by stoppage. After 4 fights with no victories, he retired a former 4-weight world champion with a record of 40 wins, 17 coming by way of knockout, 4 losses, 1 draw and 1 no contest. On July 14th, 2019, Pernell Whitaker would be hit by a car and died at age 55. Pernell Whitaker inspired a whole generation of fighters that defense and showmanship could be just as important as strength and toughness, and his legacy lives on as one of the greatest fighters to have ever stepped in the ring. So I hope you enjoyed. I just wanted to say a big thank you to all my new subscribers and everyone who watched the video to the end. I really appreciate anyone who shares my videos in whatever matter, subscribes, likes or anything to that effect. The videos might be slowing down in quantity a little bit because I'm going back to my job on Monday because gyms are exiting lockdown, so it's going to be quite hectic, but I'll be making videos whenever possible. So if you did enjoy the video, please do feel free to subscribe and share it around. Thanks everyone and see you in the next one. Bye.